Hi everyone, Christina here. Welcome to my craft room tour for 2021. About a year ago, I sold my home and I got married and moved into a brand new house where I had to build out a new craft room. So my last craft room tour, which was in 2016, I loved that craft room so much. If I could have brought it to this house, I absolutely would have, but a new space gave me the opportunity to change up a few things. So let's get into it. So this is the main entrance to my craft room. It is actually a loft space. So there are no doors to close, which sometimes can be challenging because if I'm live on YouTube, the rest of the house has to be quiet. So if it's not quiet and you're hearing cats meowing, that's why. So the main area of the room is this island. This is where I do all my filming. And it looks a little bit different from my old craft room because I'm doing a lot more live streaming now. So it's more convenient to have an iMac out here dedicated to streaming. I have my camera right here. That's my face camera. And then there's all these cords going up here. There's my overhead camera. And this is where I do all my filming. Yeah, so this is pretty much it. And by the way, this is the cleanest this craft room has ever been. Like, for real, there's more clean counter space than ever. So when I was putting my craft room together, I wanted to make sure I had banks of drawers on each side because I wanted to be able to just pull out the drawers while I was working. So this top drawer probably is the most used. I've got my Misty, my Score Pal. There's a mini Misty down there. Boards for painting. I've got my most used embossing powders and my most used inks, plus some Post-it tape, which actually I need to move over there. But anyway, most used tools. And so when I'm sitting here crafting and filming or live streaming, this drawer is probably open. On the other side is one that has kind of less used things, but still stuff that I want at my fingertips. I've got my most used brushes, ruler, some craft knives, Post-it tape, scissors, blending tools, erasers. Of everything in this drawer, I would say I probably reach for the erasers the most because for the most part, my adhesives and scissors, I keep out here all the time. Like I don't put them away. So I'm a messy crafter. I don't clean up as I go. So this is actually a rare moment. I probably should have shown you guys what it looked like before. My die cutting machine is the Anna Griffin Empress. And it looks a little bit awkward sitting here right next to me. If it was up to me, in fact, I tried it this way. I tried my die cutting machine back in the corner back here, but I just found that if it was away from where I was actually working, I was finding ways to not die cut. Like I was figuring out different things to do. And I'm like, you know what? I really should be using all these dies that I have. So I moved it over to my main workstation and I noticed that I was using my dies more. So it has a permanent home here. I've actually put it up on a stack of paper to get it just a little bit higher so that when the plates come through and they come out right here, it clears my heat tool. So I'm keeping my heat tool right here. I like it out and easy to access. So yeah, that's it. That's the main workstation. Across from my island to the left is a bank of drawers, like lots of them going over to the corner. And up above, this is the newest addition. Those of you watching on Instagram will not have seen this, but these two shelves were just added. And I was able to finally unpack all of my liquid watercolors. I'm so happy to have them out. Because they weren't accessible, I didn't think to use them. And down below, I've got my Concord and Ninth section. All of the liquid watercolors and all of the inks as well. I've got a bunch of markers over here. These ink holders, like this one and that one and all of those, they are all from Stampin' Storage, and I brought them over from my old craft room. So I already had those. I think this unit right here on the bottom, I did purchase for this craft room because, dang it, Tim, you keep adding colors. I don't have enough space. I get ink pad holders for the distress inks, and then you keep adding colors. Now, don't get me wrong. I love the extra colors. I love the color palette, but when you already have storage for them, it makes things complicated. So in this corner, I have my oxides right here, and I have my regular, like original distress inks. And then down here, I'm mixing them. I've got the oxides on this column and the originals on that column because I don't have room to actually put the oxides up there with the rest of the oxide inks. So anyway, these two cuties up here were made by my mother. The cat is Lolly from Animal Crossing, and then the little bunny is one that she made in a knitting class. Aren't they cute? I love them so much. There's my United States map that I designed for Basic Gray like a million years ago. Someone in the comments on my Q&A that I just posted said, I don't think that map has Alaska and Hawaii. It sure does. They're down in the bottom corner. So, all right. On this top shelf over here, I'm not sure what I'm doing with it quite yet. Right now, it's just stored like random things and to get things off the countertop. I've been putting them up on top. So we'll see. I might get some actual like nice bins or something to put up there to keep all of this stuff contained. So yeah, when I moved into this craft room, I put Post-its on things, kind of planning out where I was going to put them. Some of them stayed like that, like what I actually intended them for. Others did not. So I don't know. This drawer down here has all like cello bag storage things, you know, but there's, yeah, there we go. There's that. Oh, over here, this is kind of fun. Instead of putting in just a regular window seat, I did 2 flat files. And I did that because I have really large, oversized pieces of cardstock and watercolor paper and photo backdrops. And so it was nice to have, let me put this up a little bit out of the way. It was nice to be able to have a really big drawer to put all of that stuff in. So those are filled with photo backdrops and large sheets of watercolor paper and whatnot. Over into this corner, this is a corner I'm not entirely sure what I'm doing with entirely yet. I've got stuff underneath there that needs to be unpacked. I just got a few, this is actually the end of the unpacking, just these last few boxes. So I'm excited to be done with it. But this corner actually holds, you know, all right here is product that's new that I want to use and that I need to put in storage pockets, kind of just randomness. This bank of drawers right here is all watercolors. So this top drawer are probably my most used. I've got all of my Yuli watercolors, my Mission Golds, Gansai Tambi, the ones I kind of use the most often. Next drawer down, which is kind of overflowing, is just a bunch of more watercolor sets. I've got Fine Tech, some random brands, some Altenew, Praying and Crayola. And then this deep drawer at the bottom has all my watercolor paper. So I have them standing up, and I also have all of my tube paints in here. So I've got all my Mission Golds and things like that. So that is that drawer right there. So on this wall, this is the big mama of the storage area. The top two cabinets up here, I didn't have anything planned for them when we did the craft room. What it ended up being is photo equipment. This one was completely left open without any drawer shelves. So I'm putting photo bags, tripods, things like that. It's nice to just get it up and out of the way. I got these baskets at Container Store. You can kind of see up in there a little bit. I've got storage pockets for things, like empty ones that are ready to go. Over there is just random storage. I'm not even gonna open it. In this cabinet is all stamps, and I still need to organize it quite a bit, but these are pull-out drawers, and they're very heavy duty. So I mostly have my stamps organized by brand, unless it's Christmas. If it's Christmas stuff, I just put all of that all together. So there's the stamps going down there. This next closet is actually dies and stencils, but it's a little messy. It's a little bit of a jumble right now. I need to organize it some more, because on the bottom two shelves here, I ended up just putting all my Christmas stuff in there. While I was working on the holiday card series, I actually had all of those bins out right here. So if I'm working on something, I'm going to have it out right there. So coming up, it's the Valentine's Day card series. When I get back from vacation, I'm going to have just bins out here with all Valentine's product. So I'm kind of working from that corner the most. But for now, here are all the dies, and they are organized by what type of die they are. So words, I broke them down even more with Post-its. I need to add more dividers, but words holiday, words thanks, interactive like element type things, labels, frames, stars. It's all going back there. All right, stencils are right above. They're not even organized at all, just stencils all together. In this last closet, this is really random. I didn't have a plan for what this was going to be. So it sort of ended up being 6x6 pads on the top shelf. And then the rest is like product I need to go through for giveaways. In my Q&A, someone said, do you ever give away your product and things like that? And I absolutely do. I go through my stash every once in a while, probably about twice a year, and I put together giveaway boxes, and it's a giveaway. The winner just has to pay for shipping. So I will be doing that soon. I've got lots of stuff that I need to go through to figure out what I'm going to give away. All right. So over here is this lovely wall that has a sink on it. I really wanted a sink for my craft room, and with all the watercoloring that I do, it has just been lovely for about the last 6 months to have a sink. I have all my cardstock storage right here. Those are IKEA inserts from Stampin' Storage. In fact, this whole wall was actually 2 IKEA Kallax units that were built into a kind of a unit together to make it look like they were a part of custom furniture. They're kind of the only part of my craft room that were not made by a custom cabinet company, but they work so well with these inserts from Stampin' Storage, and so I really wanted to include those. So I've got lots of paper storage. I've got albums up there. These are all of my postage stamp books. Caron markers over here, a little bit of pattern paper, and then this is all specialty cardstocks. I've got them in drawers to keep them contained. And then here's my sink, which is a complete mess, but that's how it usually is. Oh, I was drawing some running shoes in here. That's cute. But I love my sink. I love the fact that I can leave it a little bit messy. It is truly an art sink. I really love that. So on the underside of my island, I have, let's zoom out here. I have 2 carts from IKEA. One has all my Copics on it. Let me pull this out. It has all my Copics on the top. And then I have all the refills the next level down, and there's some random Copic things there. But there's my little Copics cart. This other cart really has a lot of miscellaneous stuff on it right now. It's kind of a catch-all for any photo equipment that's kind of hanging around. And these drawers over here mostly have like specialty mediums or items. This first one right here is all distress inks. I showed this one on Instagram, so I thought I'd talk about it. I got these spice rack inserts. So see that? They're at an angle. And I wanted these in a drawer like this as opposed to over there on the wall with all the other inks that are in bottles. Because I wanted to, there's a lot of them for one thing. And also I wanted to have them laid out so I could see the color names. I think that's really important, especially with this entire line. And then going down drawers, I've got alcohol inks. The thing that's kind of nice about these somewhat shallow drawers is that they are just the right height to have things standing up. So I've really liked that. I've been working on labeling things so it's a little bit easier to see what's going on. And I think I have an empty drawer down here. Yeah, I totally have an empty drawer. Room to grow, right? Embossing paste, more embossing paste, embossing inks. So trying to think if there's anything else that I wanted to say about the craft room. This is the basic overview of what it looks like right now. So that's the craft room. Very basic overview. I didn't want to have to like go through every drawer and show you guys all that, but yeah, I hope you guys get an idea of how this is all put together. It's been working really, really well for me. It took me a little bit of time to kind of get used to where everything was and having a little bit of a larger space, but it has been lovely. And I love having a dedicated space for all this stuff. Thanks so much for watching. If you guys have questions about specific areas or comments or wondering where things, where I got things, let me know down in the comments. I will try to put together a blog post at some point with links and things like that. But for now, it's just the video. So thanks for watching. Have a very Merry Christmas. I will see you guys in the new year.